Welcome back. You're still watching Breakfast Daily on City TV. And do remember that we're also live around the continent on DSTV channel 363 and GoTV channel 182. And of course, use the hashtag Breakfast Daily to join in our conversations. Tell us what you're doing. Tell us what you think. And yesterday we inaugurated our new president. We inaugurated the 8th Parliament of the Fourth Republic. Tell us what you think about all those things. And of course, we're in the new year. It's 2021. Are you still battling with the remnants of COVID, or is it, still switching you here and there? Just tell us everything that's going on with you, okay? Now, up next, we have the personality segment. And today, it's a little different because I have two guests. And they are very, very interesting gentlemen coming all the way from Switzerland. And I'm really excited to be speaking to them. And I'll tell you a little bit about them. So first of all, I have someone who is right up my alley. He's a journalist. He's a TV journalist with Swiss National TV, and his name is Stephan Rathgeb. And then I also have Fabian Anderwert. I hope I got that right. And he's a financial consultant with the Bank of State of Zurich. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, madam.
How are you doing?
It's an amazing experience to be here in Ghana, to be here with you. It's full of adventure, full of nice people. I am happy. What about you?
I'm happy as well, but I'm a bit nervous because I'm not.
Don't be nervous.
I'm not a TV guy.
He is. You're not.
Is,
but even him, because he's usually on the other side.
He's
the interviewer, not the interviewee.
Exactly.
But we're excited to have you this morning. I mean, of course, a few days ago, we had you in our studios coming to see how we do things here as far as journalism goes. But you're also staying with a friend of mine, His Excellency Philip Stalder, who is the ambassador of Switzerland to Ghana. Those of you who watch Diplomatic License on City TV, you saw me playing tennis with him. We played some football as well. But I'm curious to know, first of all, what brings you to Ghana? We're always excited to have people come in, and we're very hospitable. I'm sure you've realized that.
I've realized that, but I have to ponder if I should give you the honest answer or not.
Give us the answer that's safe.
Yes, it's safe. No, love brought me here first.
Oh.
And yeah. And now I am really in love with this country. And I brought my best friend, and he said, I will just come once and then it's okay. But I think he's hooked now too.
Yeah.
Because we meet more and more people, and it's really interesting. And this is just my guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'm open-minded. I like to see new people, new countries, new culture, and that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm here because of him as well.
So what are some of the things you've discovered that, have just blown your mind, or that you've fallen in love with in Ghana? So
for me, it's always people,
Yeah.
Of course, we were under the waterfall yesterday, and we were in the Boulder region. You ask me questions. We didn't plan that. We had a lovely driver, George.
Bita, Boti
Falls.
Okay. He's good.
Yeah, he is.
We didn't plan that, and we had a lovely driver, and he said, have you seen that? I said, no, we haven't seen it. And he said, let's go. And we went there for an extra tour. It was nice. And then we met our first prince yesterday.
Oh.
And he started, David, he started telling us and how the culture works, and that he cannot become the chief because his mother has to be. It is the mother line that is passing through. So we started talking, and we really fell in love with him, and we promised him that we will come back. And so it's these kind of connections that I really like, because there's so much here that we don't know, and it's so interesting. Because back home we know everything, or we think we know everything.
Well,
we think.
So let's talk about the two of you. I mean, for me as well, I'm always very excited to meet new people and to explore new cultures. But let's talk about the two of you. I'll start with you, Fabian. So what was it like growing up in Switzerland? What part of Switzerland are you from?
From the German part, we have 4 different language parts, and I'm near Zurich. And I think classical person, Swiss, let's say average Swiss guy, all the things which was said about Swiss is true for me. I mean, I like chocolate. I work for a bank. So what else?
He likes skiing.
I mean, I like, and I'm skiing. That's right. So I like to live there, but I also like to go out of my narrow-minded country sometimes to go and see the world.
Yeah, and you, Stefan? He's looking at him like, is that all you're going to say?
Yeah, because he's such an amazing guy, but he never brags about it, you know. So I would have to add some things, you know. But the funny thing is, like, my own story, I always find it boring. I always find other people's story more interesting. So that's why I became a journalist when I was 15. I was at the gymnasium. And,
at 15? How did that work?
Okay,
we became a journalist at 15.
I have a really big self-esteem. I really have confidence in myself. So I was 15. I was reading the local newspaper in a little village with 3,000-4,000 people called Greifensee. And it says they're looking for housewives to write an article once in a while. And then, a bit naive as I was, I said, oh, what a housewife I can do as well. So I called them up, and every week I wrote an article about it. And the funny thing is, like, once when I was 19, which means after 4 years, I once met a woman, and then I told her my name. And she said, what, that's you? And I said, why do you mean? I thought it's an old gentleman, the way you write. And so I said, I don't take that as a compliment. But this is how I got started. And with 17, I wrote for the biggest newspaper in the country. With 19, I finished school, and I had so much experience. I took over a big youth newspaper, and I could always do what I want to do. I never started as a job. And I earn money with it, but it's like, it's my passion, you know. So I was like that, and I followed my passions, and I always say I was never educated, because my parents got divorced, and they had 2 houses, and I lived in between. 2 days father, 3 days mother. I could do what I want. So I enjoyed a lot of freedom.
You're a child of the world, really.
Exactly, exactly. And one thing I want to tell you, this is the most beautiful thing that ever someone has told me. It was at my second wedding. A man that I didn't know, an Indian, he danced tango. He came to me and said, Stephan, the world is your friend. And that's the nicest sentence anyone has ever told me. And I feel that, you know, I go out and I see people and I like them, you know. And when I don't like them, I tell them.
So you discovered your passion at 15. Fabian, what about you? Because you're an investment banker, right?
Not really an investment
banker. You're a
banker.
Finance guy.
Yeah, yes.
Your CV is really impressive, so I don't know what to call you.
Yeah, you know, it's... I started when I was 16 again as well.
Still about the same age.
You know, it's the system in our country that we do 10 years of school, and then you do kind of a job, so apprenticeship. And I was there in the biggest bank in Switzerland, at UBS, and then I worked there, did my bachelor degree as well, and. And in this time, I was always working as a client advisor. So I was advising my clients in how to buy a house, how to invest their money, or something like that. And I never liked the investment bankers.
Why not?
Yeah, because they have a bad image and say, oh, okay, there are people who are earning millions, and they are not watching for the clients, they are watching for the bank, and that was never my approach, because I always said, okay, if the client is fine, bank is as well, and me of course as well.
Exactly.
So that was my aim of banking, and I'm doing this now for more than 15 years now, not at UBS anymore, the local Kantonalbank, we say it in German. And starting a new job soon.
So I know that in Switzerland you have to do a compulsory or mandatory military service.
Yes.
Yeah, both of you did it.
I didn't do it.
You didn't?
No, but let's not talk about it.
I'll come to that. Yeah. But what was it like for you?
It was a nice experience.
How long did you have to spend in the military?
It's 21 weeks.
Okay.
And then every year you need to do a revision course for 3 weeks till you are 32 or 33, I think, something like that. So you're about 1 year in military.
Okay.
All around. And it was a nice experience. I mean, I don't really like the military, but I make friends there. It's kind of a education as well.
What kinds of things do you feel you learned that you're able to apply in your adult life?
Yeah, I'm not the organized or the most organized type, and I think I learned that, and I also learned that to have pressure on you and how to solve a problem. Let's say, I mean, you didn't have time for much things. and you learn how to do it, how to handle it, and also how to do things you don't want to do. So kind of follow orders, and then say, okay, it's no brain work, you have to do it, you don't think it's nice, but
you have to do it.
You have to do it.
And you learn how to do it well.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't know the bigger thing, the bigger picture, and so you just do it, and maybe you see it in later, maybe not.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's both. Can be both, yeah.
Okay. So, Stephan, back to you. Okay, so you didn't do military service?
No, I was a Boy Scout, and I did civil protection service. This is kind of like where you, in the case of an emergency, you help the people and you evacuate them. And
for people who doesn't want to do the military service.
That's not fair what you said. That's not fair. That's not fair. No, it's not.
Okay,
it's not
for
like
people
that.
who doesn't can't
You can't
do the military.
I love the chemistry between the two. So how did you become friends? At what point?
Okay, I wanted to get a loan from a bank, so I went to the bank, but I always talk with people about everything, and then I met him, and I liked him. I didn't want to buy the flat, so I didn't need the loan anymore, but one of a sudden I met him in the street. We live in the same village, and he says, "Hi, you're in Switzerland, you have a very formal way of talking to people." He just talked normally. And I said, "Oh, we talk like that with each other?" He says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I confused you." I said, "No, it's fine, let's stay like that." And then it was done. It was like that, you know.
So how long have you been friends?
6-7 years, something like that.
Yeah.
2014.
Yeah, I think
so about 6
years.
Going
Six and a
7.
half years.
Yeah, that's brilliant. So let's talk a little bit about your work. So I'll start with you again, Stephan. So you're a TV journalist, but you started out as a writer, so a print journalist, right?
Yeah.
How did you make the transition?
You know, I always considered myself as a writer. I wrote magazines, I wrote that. And then at a certain time I said, I want to change my career. I did a business school, I had a donut bakery, and I saw journalism, being a freelance journalist, you can't survive in Switzerland.
Yeah, some pictures of you.
Yeah, this is my work now, this is my passion. And then at the age of when I was around 30, I came home from Germany. I really didn't know what to do. And then my last best friend, he gave me an ad and said, "Hey, Swiss TV is looking for people." I said, "What should I do at TV, you know?" And then I applied. I didn't know that we were 900 people who applied.
Wow.
And I would not have applied if I had known that. And I did not really want to go to TV because I don't really know TV. And we did 4 months of tests and on camera, behind camera knowledge. I found it really incredible. I wanted to learn that. And they wanted to know if I could do that already. I told them, "What's wrong with you, you know?" And then after 4 months, they said, "We have chosen you and 8 others." And I never really wanted to be there, but from the moment I was there, I found my home. Because I love pictures, I love techniques, I love capturing things. I prefer to find a scene that tells more than just writing words, you know. Yeah. And ever since, I'm hooked there too. I have my camera wherever I go. She's just there. I think it's a she because I love her so much, you know. and that's just how I got there, and I will never go away from it, you know. It's just a way of telling stories and touching people, and I'm, by the way, very impressed how you do this here.
Thank you. And I mean, you've covered some very sensitive topics, from psychiatry to palliative care. So for people who don't understand what palliative care is, because it's not a huge thing here, but people who have terminal illnesses, so cancer perhaps, anything that you know that if it's not handled a certain way, the chances that you live for the next couple of years are not very high. So you've done stories on patients like that and their families.
Exactly.
What moved you in that direction?
You know,
why not politics, or you know?
You know, I do a lot of politics. I did economy. I did everything. When we have our news services, we have to do everything, and I think that's good also for news and everything, and it keeps you awake. Yeah. But that's fast. You know that it's tuck, tuck, tuck.
Yeah.
You work a week, and if you ask me what did you do yesterday,
you don't remember.
I wouldn't remember.
Yeah.
And that's like you feel like you have this digital dementia, you know. And then I always like story with people where I can spend a lot of time. And since I'm a video journalist, I film myself. My bosses let me go because I don't cost a lot. You know?
Okay.
So I can emerge, and people are not scared. My camera is so small; they hardly see it, and it's a more intimate relationship between me and the people. They open up, they trust me, I trust them, and I just like that. The last story I did was about young people in a wheelchair who have to learn to live independently. They live together in a flat. And this was my biggest fear in life, to be in a wheelchair. I was really scared of that. And I let go of these fears because I could see that they have a good life. They're an amazing personalities. The one in the worst condition he found a girlfriend. And seeing this love touched me so much. And we all know how difficult it is to find love.
You love love, don't you?
I love love, of course, yeah.
That's really interesting. I also know that at some point you worked with a man we call the plastinator.
You know him?
Well, I mean, I've read about him.
Okay.
So my younger sister is a doctor, and so she did a lot of anatomy. And in anatomy, you learn about plastination. I mean, I did biology as well. And so to discover that you worked with a man who came up with this, okay, so again, plastination is a technique where, I mean, you take you know, dead anatomy, so it could be humans, it could be animals, and you replace certain, I don't know all the technical stuff, but certain parts of them with plastics so that you can preserve them. And you worked with him.
Yeah, yeah.
How did that happen?
You know, I believe in...
Who are you?
I'm a lucky man. The world is my friend, I told you, like I go at places and I'm just open and I grab opportunities. So I was editor-in-chief of this youth newspaper and I wanted to send our biologist. She told me, oh, I have dissected frogs enough, you can do it, So I went, I wanted to just observe him for a day, and then the boss himself was there, and we spent the day and we talked for hours, we got caught up in traffic for 4 hours, we talked. 2 months later I did a radio program on death, I invited him. And then in the tram, he asked me, do you want to be my spokesperson? I said, I don't know, I'm 21, I'm a journalist, I don't know to be a spokesperson. He said, you will figure out, you're smart. And then I said, okay, yes, I was 21, I went to Germany. His secretary made me buy a tie because I didn't have a cell phone, I didn't know how to apply. I had long hair, everyone thought that he's crazy, why is he hiring this guy? But it was the most amazing experience, and I learned so much from this man that I'm still applying every day. And right now, he's like in his 70s. He is suffering from Parkinson's disease, I started a film project following him. I thought he would die, 2016, but he's such a strong man, such a fighter. He says always, no is not an option. Where there is a will, there is a way. And you go as long until you get it. He really marked me. And I'm like this today, and that's why if you believe in it, you can do it. He would be dead a long time, but his father is over 100 years old, has prostate cancer for a long time, and still alive, Yeah. And apparently he had girlfriends until he was in his 90s or so, but that's another story. We shouldn't talk about that on TV.
So I'm going to wrap up with you, Fabian. So the way you do your work is very different. I mean, a lot of people are afraid of people who work with money because, like you said, we think the banks always want to benefit from us, and they don't really think about us with all the high interest rates and, who can get the biggest cut based on what deal.
Yeah.
How have you maintained your humanity through the work you do?
We have maybe one thing which is same with as Stephan. I mean, it's about stories, and it's not about stories of it's a story about people or about their problems, about their needs. So person is not coming to me and say, okay, I want a mortgage. He's coming to me and say, okay, I want to buy this house. So how to do that? And then say, okay, and then I solve his problem to buy this house. And of course he needs a mortgage for that. And that's then when I come. But we start this in searching the house. Okay, what do you want? Okay, this is 4 bedroom, 2 bedroom, something like this. It's much easier to explain with a house than with investing money, for example.
Of course.
Because then they say, okay, you have, let's say, 20,000 on your account. Okay, what to do with the money? And then you need to search. Okay, what is his target? What does he want? So then you say, okay, I want to buy a house in the next 5 years. So okay, now with 20,000 in our country, it's not possible to buy a house. So we need to invest this money that you have, let's say, 50,000 in 10 years, and then you have a good base for buying a house. So I need to understand these people, and if I understand these people, I know what they want, and then I can give them.
Wow.
And it's not about, okay, you have this money and you don't get any interest, so we make to give you interest. So it's about, okay, what is the target and how to get to this target.
It's more people-centered. Do you think that people in your profession should approach their work the way you do?
I think it's a good way. And I mean, it's my way. Other people will do it different. They're also successful. But I think it's also one of moral reasons how to do that. And I mean, there are black sheeps everywhere, also in banks, and maybe bigger in banks, or many more people in banks. But I think if you want to survive the long term in this profession, you need to do it like this. I mean, it's a people business, and it's not a money.
It's just about the money.
Yeah, it's not about the money. You know, I had one apprenticeship, or future apprenticeship. At the interview, I asked him, okay, why do you want to come to the bank? And he said, yeah, I'm good in Monopoly. Then I said, okay, but why do you want to come to the bank then? Yeah, you know, bank is money, and I'm good in math, and it's okay. But you don't understand the job from us. And the other person says, yeah, he wasn't so good in math. He was kind of the creative person like Stephan. And then he said, yeah, I'm interested in people. And I said, okay, what does that mean? I said, yeah, you know, I always want to know what they drives, what they think. And they said, okay. And then I asked him, okay, what do you think now in this interview? And then he says, okay. He said, yeah, I have to impress the person on the opposite side. And then I said, okay, how you do that? And then he said, he didn't know he didn't know what to say, but I was quite impressed because of this.
Yes.
He was honest.
He was honest. He was honest and said, okay. Then he said, yeah, I mean, it's hard to do. And then he said, maybe you are impressed a bit. And then I was again impressed that he know what I was thinking.
Okay, so gentlemen, we have to wrap this conversation up. I have a couple of messages for you. Someone says, hi, Apioka, you have such interesting guests in the studio. And this is Mabna from Kaswa. And Lydia in Kanda says, I love the journalism profession. Can Stephan share a few tips with us? We don't have a lot of time, Lydia, but maybe I'll get them and send them to you separately. Good initiative, City TV. It's also good for us to experience people from the other side of the world. And this is Marvin from La Paz. So people are loving you guys this morning.
And we love you too.
You know, I hope to see you back in Ghana at some point. Maybe have longer conversations with you, learn more from both of you, because I'm very inspired this morning. The way both of you approach your individual jobs, how you discovered your passions very early and stuck to them. You weren't derailed by anything, not even money, you know, when that became something of a prospect at a point. But blessed to have you.
Thank you so much. Can you give the compliment back?
Yes, of course.
No, I really, for me, it's so interesting to see how you do it. And observing you, I think you talk from your heart. Yeah. You know, it's a real conversation. We always teach people, talk normally, be yourself, you know, not someone else. And I feel that, and it feels amazing.
Thank you so much. So, I mean, we'll meet again. And please, my regards to Ambassador Stalder.
We will do that. He's an amazing guy too.
Yes, he is. So, ladies and gentlemen, I've had these two wonderful gentlemen in the studio with me today. They're coming all the way from Switzerland. They spent some time with us.
Hi there. We hope you enjoyed the show.
Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share with your friends.
This is Breakfast Daily on City TV.
Join the Breakfast Daily team Monday through Fridays from 7:30 a.m. to 10. Join us for breakfast daily, only on City TV.